What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the I'm Not Lucky, I'm Blessed podcast, the show where we celebrate young entrepreneurs and their achievements, and then we inspire up and coming entrepreneurs on how to make profit using their passion. And as usual, I'm your host, Lucky the Most. Episode 118. Guys, thank you so much for listening and being part of this family. I love you guys so much. And as usual, I have a special guest in the building, a great friend of mine. Okay, but before I introduce our guest, guys, if this is your first time listening to the podcast and you've not subscribed, you're not following, please follow, like, share, and leave a comment. So in this podcast, we believe that success leaves clues, and today I have an amazing guest in the building, someone I consider successful in her field, and we're here to talk about the same old things we talk about: how you started, how did you get to where you are, so someone else listening can learn from her. Our guest today is an event host. She's an MC. She is the founder of the Hot Seat interview platform. She's a jack of all trades. She does it all, and today we're here to just learn from her. So, guys, help me welcome Pretty Yanny to the podcast.
What's going on, my people? You already know it's your girl, Pretty Yanny. Any other one is what? It's a counterfeit. That's right.
Energy, I love the energy.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been wondering, like, how do you keep this energy you get, right? Your shows, everything you do, like, how do you keep the energy?
Honestly, I don't know. I just do. Like, it's just part of me. I can't really say, I'm just blessed, lucky, blessed. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just that person. I'm hyper,
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm able to be serious in times when I'm supposed to be serious. But at the same time, I feel like the energy is me. Yanny with the vibes. It's like natural, bro. Yeah. So I can't change that about myself.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. So do you mind just introducing yourself to the listeners? Who you are, where you're from, what you do?
Yes. Oh my God. Long story.
Feel free to give us the long story.
Yeah,
You want the long story.
You're listening, guys. Well, I go by the name Pretty Yanny. Do I want to give my actual name? Well, why not? My real name is Yanolua.
Beautiful name.
Yeah, and it means the miracle of God.
Right,
but I don't know. Yanny came out of there some way,
somewhere.
somehow.
And how did the Pretty Yanny come about? I know it's self-explanatory, but how did
So actually, growing up in Nigeria, I had a friend, a childhood friend, Damilola.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, big ups to you.
Shout out to you.
So we used to, play this game where we just give each other names. And she would give me Yanny, all this stuff. And then I guess somewhere there she put Pretty Yanny, and then I was just like, I like that one, But I haven't found a reason to use that name until I came here or until I was a little bit established and whatnot.
Yep.
So I was like, you know what, and when I was in high school, people would call me Yanny, just call me Yanny, and they were looking for different nicknames for me, but I was like, Yanny, let that stick. And then from there it was I added the pretty and it was just Pretty Yanny. So everything was just pretty, and then I guess I blowed up.
The name just.
And then it just, everyone was pretty, you're pretty, I bet, keep that, then you're good, So it became and then I turned it into a brand. Man, we thank God.
Shout out to your friends,
yeah, big ups to them.
Yeah,
definitely.
But
nice. Yeah, I was born in Nigeria. Okay, I was actually born in Ibadan.
Okay.
And but both of my parents, my dad is from Ogun State and my mom is from Osun State. They live there. So but I was fortunate to born in Ibadan. But I went to school there actually, primary, secondary for a little bit, and then we came out here when I was 13. People think I was born here, but I was not.
Oh, really? I actually thought you were born here.
I was not. So, but I guess because I went back to school, I went back to high school.
Okay.
Over here. So when I was in high school, I felt like the fame was like following me from high school because I played all the sport. I was just that girl. So from high school, people already knew me, and then I went to college, and then life happened, and the way God works is very mysterious. So here I am.
For me, it just comes natural to me. You
Mhm.
get like
Yeah.
even before I knew you, I feel like I've already known you doing this already. You get right. So
Yeah.
and then hearing that you were not even born here, you came from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Like how's that possible? That little girl from Nigeria coming here and becoming pretty young. Like,
Yeah.
how's that possible?
Honestly, I don't like. I'm gonna keep saying I don't know a lot, and I'm gonna say it's God because literally, like when people ask me, I just feel like I was that girl that I always say this like I'm just a vessel, and I like God gave me that assignment. I understood the assignment, so I ran with it. It was like everybody's always looking for their purpose and stuff like that. But for me, it was kind of like I felt like I already knew what my purpose was, and God was just like putting me in that path. There was a point where I didn't understand what was going on in my life, to be honest, because of course everybody or every Nigerian parent expect for their children to go to school, graduate, and
become a lawyer,
become something,
Yeah.
But for me, it was just like I try to do things, but it was just like sending me back to like it's like no.
God amazing. You try to run away, but
Yeah,
it's bringing you back.
it's like bringing me
back to this
like it's
place.
like no, like this is not where you're supposed to be. This is where you're supposed to be. Even when I went to school, when I went to college, I kept pushing for that one thing. And then it was just like, it's not going, it's not aligning. I don't understand what's going on. So I came back to Boston. So when I came back to Boston, everything was just like left, right, front, back. And before you know it, I started with like some like Audio Freaker. I started with like,
I remember Audio Freaker. You were host for the.
Yes, like a lot of things was just, I started modeling and then, I did the Miss Nigeria USA when I was like 21 and like, it was just so much, like everything was just like, so I felt like what really opened that door for me was when I, competed in the pageant, Miss Nigeria USA. And like, I felt like that was where I felt like, yo, I know.
You among the top?
The top, I guess I was part of the finalists. But I mean, I didn't win.
Hey, man.
But and I felt like at that point it was just like me trying something. Let's do this, And when I did that, I felt like that was where it like stuck. Like, yo, now you have this platform. What do you want to do with it? So I guess that was the question I asked myself, and everything just started.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's been a battle getting here, bro.
Yeah.
Well, thank God you're here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you said you understood the assignment.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what is
the
assignment?
Well, like my show says, I said we're pretty young.
Yeah.
This is the part where I say I showcase creatives, I uplift, I empower, I inspire them, and it's literally like I feel like that's my assignment. Like you're here to support people, even if like I know people expect that you're supposed to get something in return for that.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you know what your purpose is, you don't have to wait for that. Like the blessing will just come. You don't know where the blessing is coming from.
That is fact.
You know what I mean? So I feel like I've been fortunate, but at the same time, it takes the grace of God. And I would keep saying that, I'm just a vessel, and I'm glad that God deemed me worthy to be that person, to be that vessel,
I respect you. I respect your level of humbleness. Even God hearing the podcast right now, man, that's my God.
That's right.
Honestly, man.
Definitely, because without God, like, I wouldn't be here today.
Facts.
Yeah. Sure.
Give us some instance, like some testimonies. You say without God, you would not be here. Like give us instances because people doubt. You understand? Like if you don't tell people what you've been through, people won't even know. So like
don't like. How do I put it? The transition in literally from me like modeling and then big shout out to Bobby T if you're watching BME. I started with him. I did G Scanner. I think he was actually the one that gave me the microphone. Like I always say, like like I would give, shout out to the people that
Shout out
like
to yeah.
pushed me to be where I am today. Audio Africa definitely was one of those people as well.
Yeah.
But Babati was that person that, saw the potential in me and was like, yo, like Yanni, like you have the potential. If you don't like stop being shy, or you just have to own it and take charge. And so he gave me like the microphone, and I would never forget my first. It started with an interview, like that was Davido's concert.
Really?
Yes, Davido's concert in Providence.
Wait, your
And I was
first one?
Yeah,
Straight Davido.
I was the red carpet host. Yeah.
Whoa, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember.
Oh my God.
I remember.
And I didn't know what I was doing, to be honest. But to people, it was kind of like,
You know
who is this
you
girl?
played that part so well. I thought you'd been doing it your whole life.
Yes, he said, he was like, you're natural. Like, like everyone say you're natural. So I didn't know what I was doing. I just felt like I was doing something. I had the mic. I was just asking questions on top of my head. He was like, you're doing good.
Wow.
You're doing good. So from there, like we did the like red carpet hosting, and then we had our own show, G's Corner.
Yeah.
And I was like the host alongside Karima. She big up to Karima T. I feel like I'm gonna be giving a lot of
Hey man,
big ups,
if we get him out of the podcast, I don't want to forget the whole part of the story.
I feel like people need to know, like, people don't understand. But like back to like the question that you asked me, right? Man, I had a rough. 2020. My dad passed.
Yeah, sorry about that.
And that was a point where like if it was, I don't know, other people would probably be like, yeah, I'm done. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I had that.
You had that, yeah.
Because I was like, what's the point? Like the reason why I'm doing almost everything that I'm doing, or blah blah blah. He encourages me and everything like that. So then after he passed, a month after, instead of me dwelling on, the loss, the pain, or whatever it is, I started my show. So I turned my pain into power.
Oh man, I love that.
Yeah, so I definitely turned my pain into power. And shout out to my friends, because without them, like, Emanuela, if you're watching this right now, like that was like my support system. Like, of course my mom, definitely my siblings for sure, like, but when I'm talking about friends, and I'm not just saying friends, I'm talking about friends that turned into sisters. You know what I mean? Like Emanuela, like Hannah, like a lot of them like that definitely like pushed me, Gino's friends. Prince.
Yeah,
was
Prince.
Definitely
DJ Prince.
Yes.
DJ Prince.
Yes, Prince was definitely like a friend. Like I wouldn't even call him just a friend. Like a brother. Like he was, he was like, Mama, you gotta keep going. Like it's like when he says Mama, it's just like Mama, you cannot. And I also like he's inspiring. Like he inspires
Based on
me.
his story.
Based on his story.
You know Prince when he started DJing.
You know what I mean?
The biggest Afro.
You know what I mean?
Like,
so I'm saying like if you can do that without like this is without, at least I still had like
backup,
like I still had like parent, like they were still there, they raised me to a point. You know what I mean? But like me now losing like the most important person, I'm like, yo, like there is no way that's gonna like stop me from doing anything. Instead of like I said, like during the memorial and whatnot, I said, your legacy is gonna live on through us, your children. And as the firstborn, you already passed that torch to me, and I'm gonna take it and run with it. My dad was a very like music person. He loved like I remember when he was in the hospital then, like he still rest in peace. I'm not trying to get emotional or anything, but when he was in the hospital then, like people that knew what I was going through, I don't want to keep shouting out names, but they know themselves. You know what I mean? Like every time I go to the hospital, music was that consoling thing. Music was therapeutic for him. Like I remember, like I'll have my phone and like play like Sunny Ade, Ebenezer Obey, like all these things, and like music was that thing for him. And I felt like what? Why not just use this as a revenue to also like inspire people? And I started the show. When I started the show, I didn't know what I was doing.
Mm-mm.
I was just like quarantine IG Live. You know? But you know, my first IG Live was like quarantine IG Live. Like let's do this. You know, I know what I was doing. But from there, then I had people like telling me it's time to name it something. You know, and I started looking for names, and I was like, yeah, hot set with pretty Yanny, and from there, and then here I am. You know.
That's an amazing. I like how you wrapped your whole story in, but it's really amazing, man. It's really amazing. Most powerful thing is the fact that you turn pain into power,
Oh, yes.
and like those are moments that I don't know. There's something about life or the way God. I would say God. The way
Those things.
God does things that we can question, but
We can't even explain
but
it.
we can't even explain it because I know a lot of women that have been in that position. The most valuable thing in their life, he takes it away just to bring out the different side of it. It's like if I don't take this from you, you would never become this person. That and it sucks. You understand, right? It's painful. Like why?
The crazy part.
Yep.
2020 started as a great year for me. Am I allowed to swear?
All right.
Like 2020 started as a great effing year for me. Literally, like my birthday is in January.
Yeah.
We had a blast. Like folks that actually knew when I turned that age. Oh my god! Like I got a hotel. We literally we went crazy. I bought myself my car, like a new, like I was doing well, not knowing that a month after,
just a month after,
even pandemic hit, pandemic hit, and then everything was like, and God was like, yeah, I'm trying to humble you. It's time for you to like find your way back to me, man. Man, because even like I did, like big ups to my church also. They held me down, like you know, like my pastor, she is something, you know. Like they definitely helped me because I didn't know where I was, like you know, what was next. I was in nursing school. I was supposed to graduate, and then in finals I gave up. Like I even went to the exam hall, like I'm going to go and take an exam. I entered the exam hall. I started crying. My mother was like, why did you even go in the first place? I was like,
I was trying to be strong and
yeah. So, you know, but a month after, like after we laid my dad to rest, and then it was like literally a month after, you know, like I was just like, wow, like Yanny, I would have never thought. And then everything started aligning. It was just like I'm reaching out to like the likes of like Fowls, Banky W, like I need y'all on my show. I'm reaching out to all this like artists, and they're responding back. It's not like, but then the pandemic, you know what I mean? Everybody's like, yeah. But there was like so much, and even if I wasn't having them on the show, but at least all the people, like you know, Ogo Boy, you know, Wadi Don Black Wi-Fi, you know, all these people like on the show, you know, big ups to everyone that Gino speaks, like you know, I had to bring them all on the show. Prince was actually the first person I interviewed.
True, I know,
and
man.
He was in person.
Oh man, this Prince guy, he has been there.
Definitely, like that's like when I'm saying like, you know, people say day one, as cliche as that may sound, you know, it's like day one. It's like people that see potential in you and unlock the potential. You know, just one of those things. Very, yeah. So yeah.
I remember like when I first. There's something about the first person you get on your show. You understand, right? And just how that feeling is to believe in you and to sit next to you even when there is nothing to believe. You understand? Now it's like there's something. I see something, so I want to be part of it. But like, imagine nothing there, but just sat with you for those time and converse with you and helped bring your dream to reality. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
So
I'm thankful to God for that.
Yeah. So we have a lot of things to talk about. We want to talk about you being the host, the MC. We want to talk about the hot seat. You get right. But let's go back to what inspired you. Okay, what inspired you to become all these things?
Man, do I know?
Okay.
Man, I feel like it's my heart. Like I have a good heart. Even though most time it gets taken for granted, but there's just that thing that just
take this half for granted. Who they take this half for granted? Take your time, bro.
You and it's just something about people with a big heart and just want to support people, even if you are getting something in return or not. It's just there's something that just keeps you going. But I don't know. Like, there's no answer to that. I just feel like I just wanted to support. I feel like that's my driving force. It's just I see potential in you, and we're gonna unleash that. I don't like nobody has to tell me before I repost people on my page. People are like, "Oh, but Yanni, you're doing this for these people, but they're not doing that for you." It's really not about me. It's really not about me because I feel like I'm blessed regardless. I'm always gonna say that. Like, I'm blessed regardless. So that's just a little of God's goodness. Like, why don't I just you don't know if God is using me for that person. You know what I mean? Yeah, so it's just one of those. I don't know why I started, but I just feel like God was the driving force. Like, it's just something pushing me. I do this. Like, majority of things that I do, I don't think before I do most of them. I just do.
Natural.
I just show up for people. Let me just show up for you. I'm not looking for credit or anything like that. I'm just showing up for you. I want you to know that I support you. I'm there for you. That's it. However you want to take that, that's it. That's just me. Yeah.
Honestly, linking up with you even on this podcast was the sweet. When I got your feedback, I was like, I was like, wait, like, why haven't I had not Yanny on this podcast? You understand? So immediately, it was like an immediate action. The moment it came to my mind, I was like, let me just reach out there before I forget. And then you were like, oh God, this has also gone.
No, it's crazy. Like, literally, I feel like when you reached out to me, it was a day before or 2 days before that. I don't know. Like, it was just some sort of like, oh, okay. I don't know. Like, it was just like, yeah, I would love to be on that.
That's true. Then immediately, like,
that was, and it wasn't even like I spoke it into this or anything. It was just a thought.
Oh, yeah.
And then I'm looking at my DM and I'm seeing, and I'm like, because this is not like I've seen a couple of your like snippets and stuff like that, but I didn't even think of like, oh, I'm gonna be, because I'm just going about my day. I see it and I can move about my day, but for some reason that same week, it's like that same week I thought about it, and that was the same week you reached out. I was like,
that was a perfect time. Everything just aligned. You get right.
I was like,
interesting. If I had reached at a different time and you had not,
might not be the right time.
It might not be the right
because
time.
Last year was a rough year for me. It was. I had a rough last year. Like, last year did a lot to my mental health.
Really?
Like, it was insane. Yeah. And I feel like this year was like a bounce back. Like, I feel like I'm literally just bouncing back. I would say last month, May. Right? Yeah, I would say like then I feel like myself again.
Wow.
Like, bouncing back to being pretty young.
Really?
Like,
and we can't even tell. Like, we just see where we think pretty young is always pretty young. You get right.
Yeah.
But like, I want to know, when you say rough year, what does a rough year looks like for pretty young, and then what does a bounce back look like for you? Because I want to be able to differentiate it when I see it.
I mean,
because last year you did our wedding, you get right, and the energy was
insane.
great.
Like, like I definitely was having it rough. My last show was 2021. That was my last show. So of course that already sets the mood for 2022 and why I had a rough 2022, because I couldn't have my show. I couldn't do anything. Of course I graduated, but after I graduated, it was like, instead of things going right, it was going left. That was when I lost my job. I had surgery. I got a job, but then it was like stressing me out. I couldn't do anything. It was like, you're making money, but you're not making money. It was a lot like that was going on for me. Family issues here and there. Trying to balance everything out. It was like good and bad, but it was like I couldn't do what I really wanted to do. I was still trying to figure out everything. But right now, I feel like the bounce back, I don't figure it out. It's like I'm on a roll. I started in 2023. I told myself, get ready to be sick of me.
Flood.
But no, when you're going through those moments, that's when you're trying to like figure out who belongs in your life and who does not. And that's why I said, like, my friendships, I value them so much. People don't understand why, like, I'm posting people on their birthdays, like, that are actually my genuine friends, because I know they stuck by me.
Yeah.
Like the ones that would buy flowers just because, Yanny, I want you to know that you're something and you need to become that something. I don't care what you go through, you need to bounce back, Like they're there, like even if they're not in the States, even if they're out of state, they still find a way to still call me, checking on me, Yanny, you cannot give up. We will not let you give up. You have to keep going, There was a point where my license was suspended and that feeling of restriction, like
We've been there. We've all been there.
And I was still trying to work. I work in Boston, I live in like Stoughton, and I'm like still trying to commute to work. And I'm just like, God, I don't know what you're doing. Trying to humble me so bad, but this is too much.
This is too much humbling.
Like, I need my car.
I'm pretty Yanny.
Like, you can't put me to shame like this. You can't let people see me like this. Like,
you should have changed your name from Pretty Yanny to Tough Yanny.
I started Ubering everywhere. Like, people were like hitting me up, like, yo, Yanny, you gonna show up? I'm like, man, I would love to. But. It's a tough time.
The life of the party.
But I didn't even make it seem like I was going through a tough time.
Yeah.
I would still go to church for years. I would still show up in church Sunday service,
Yeah.
I was still, my faith was tested.
Yeah.
I went through it.
I'm glad you made
But
it.
yeah.
We're here right now, man.
Yes.
But like with all this thing, what's one thing you learned? Like what's one thing you can take away from this?
See, they always say there is always the light at the end of the tunnel. As cliche as that may sound, I remember when someone told me that. I said, please, what tunnel?
Someone was like, who kind of like a for tunnel?
No, because and I will keep saying I'm grateful to people like mentors, I'm grateful to them, my therapist. Oh my God, man. Because there was a point where I would go in and scream and yell, I'm going through it, and they're just like, it's okay, go off.
Go off. Probably the only time you're having to yell or something. Yeah.
It's a safe space. Go off. I know how you feel. When you hit a brick wall and you just feel like, man, there's no way out. But look at me. 3 months or 4 months ago, I wasn't in this space. I was not in this space. I know how I was feeling. But look at me now. Who would even think that I even went through all of those things? And now I'm popping out, and I'm just like, wow.
In less than 3 months, you're back on.
Back at it. It's just like, wow. But I would say, one thing to take away for sure, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. You can't give up. You can't give up.
Who give up for bro?
Yeah, for real. I'm telling you, I'm a big God girl, so I'm gonna keep saying God.
Oh, no facts.
Because someone was told me oh, you do all this stuff, and I can't believe you still go to church. I can't believe you pray. I can't.
What does that have to do with my going to church and my God
and
relationship?
I smile because I'm if you know,
if you know how much I owe this God, you understand?
I don't joke with I go to even my church at this point they don't give up on me. Oh, Yanny, she's this, she's that, blah blah blah. But I still come to church. That's all. I still praise God. I still serve God, and God is still blessing me. He's still doing all these things for me in my life. Even when I look at it, I'm like, how?
Wow. That's amazing.
But yeah, definitely, whoever is watching, I don't know what you're going through. I don't know why I'm even saying this now, but God will show up for you. I'm telling you that. My license was suspended, but I keyed into something that my pastor said. She's like, there is something, if you have something in your heart, you know how they do the altar call.
Yes.
And she, for some reason on that day, she was just people have stuff that they're dealing with right now. And if you are that person, come forward to the altar. Everybody ran to the altar. You know what was on my mind? I wasn't thinking about anything else. My license, I needed to be reinstated. I haven't done the testimony for that. Because she said, when God answered,
you must come back again.
No, the only everything that was on my, I said, I don't know how this case is gonna go, but my license has
Must
to be like released and reinstated. And that literally that Tuesday,
Are you serious?
I'm not kidding. That Tuesday, my license got reinstated.
Wow.
Like, I don't like. People say a lot of things. Oh, brainwashed. You're this. You're that. You're, you know. I know that there is a God. So it's kind of like yes,
Big
like
time. Yeah.
I keyed into that.
Yeah.
I don't know how that, like, what happened in there, blah blah blah. But I knew after that Sunday, that Tuesday, my next like whatever, my license got reinstated.
And the system doesn't even work like that. The system doesn't even work like that. That's not
before that, I tried to reinstate my license.
Yeah.
With the same document. They said no. With the same document, it was that same document that they used to reinstate my license on that Tuesday. So what does anybody want to tell me?
No, that's amazing, man. That's amazing.
So that's that. Yeah, definitely. So
it's beautiful. Like God. The thing about God that I've noticed is that He might not have you in the ways you want, but He knows the right ways to, like, when to come in. You get it, right? Like we cry about every little thing and complain, but it's like you don't really need that.
Yes.
When the things you really need come, you understand, right? I will provide. Like and that's the same thing with my life too. Like I'm telling you, every single day is a blessing. Every single day is one favor, miracle. Like you know, it's amazing. Yeah. And I'm glad that you feel that way, man. God is really amazing.
Amen to that. Amen to that for sure. Yeah. Definitely.
So that's beautiful. Most lesson that you've learned through all this is there's light at the end of the tunnel. Don't give up.
You cannot.
Just try to get to the end of the tunnel.
Consistency. You cannot. You cannot. And you can't let people see that part of you. You still have to show up as yourself.
Regardless of how you feel.
It doesn't matter. I still show up as pretty Yanny. I probably may have just cried this morning, but when I'm stepping out of that door, I'm still stepping out as Yanny, as pretty Yanny. I don't care what anybody says. I mean, my friend, Samson, you know, there was a day where I was on FaceTime and I was crying. I've never been, like, I won't say I've never been vulnerable like that, but when I go through some things, there are some friends that I will call that they can see me in all the natural form ever, with my mouth tears and everything like that. Like, you know, there are times like that. But at the same time, when I'm done talking, like when I'm done crying, and then, you know, pick my head back up, like my crown may be tilted, I adjust it
and then step out of the house.
And nobody would even know that I just cried. And I feel like that's majority of a lot of people's stories. But most people also let it get to them, you know. You just always have to show up as yourself no matter what. You can't let, nobody knows my personal life on the internet. As you know, big as the platform is or whatever it is, you can't tell what my personal life is. I post whatever I want you to see, you know. It's true. Yeah, and even aside from that, you know, people think that, oh, maybe I only MC, I only model or whatnot. I work a 9 to 5 too, 8:30 to 5, full time, Monday through Friday, and I'm still showing up as, you know, who God wants me to be. So yeah, like you can't like, nah. I don't like if what I'm saying right now is not inspiring to you yet. I don't know what else though.
I love how vulnerable you are on this podcast, man. Like,
of course.
This is one of the most vulnerable. Like,
this is what I do to people.
Like, literally, like me hearing your story and like you're not just here telling me the fancy stuff. Like you're telling me the rawest stuff ever, the saddest, and I'm grateful because like. I tell people this is a podcast not for. I've had people come on the podcast and they tell me, "Oh, I'm not successful yet, so I don't know." No, I'm like, no, this is a podcast where you share your story.
I see myself already as a celebrity. I don't care what anybody says. Yes, I'm a say whatever you want to say. I might not have 15K
But
on my Instagram, but I leave a mark everywhere
everywhere
I
you
go.
go, even if it's one life you change.
I leave a mark everywhere I go. I might show up and be anxious. I don't know what's going on, but when I step into that room,
Yeah.
everybody knows Yanny is in that room.
Mm.
I don't care. Like it's not pride. It's just you just knowing yourself and knowing what you bring to the table.
I love that. I love that. I love that. Now, just how did you get to that point? You get right. That's
You did the work.
What
You did the work.
what is
I
this?
just had a conversation with someone, and I always tell people, you did the work. I was definitely not this girl.
Yeah.
But people always say self love, and I feel like it might be like I want to be careful with my words as well, but you really have to know what that is. Like, I'm not insecure by any other person.
Yeah.
It's like you have to be secure in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you just have to like do the work. Like I was telling someone, have you ever gone out to have dinner by yourself before? Like, have
That's a
you?
deep level of
It's
life, like
true.
of loving it. Like, have you gone
Yes,
to
like,
the movies by yourself?
Yes, have
and
you
just
gone?
sit?
Yes, have you like done those things? Like, if you haven't done, and it's not like I just came up with that.
Yeah.
It was someone that said it to me. I graduated, and they said, "Yanny, go treat yourself, just you." And I'm like, go have dinner by yourself. And I'm just like, me, by myself. Everything at my birthdays, my everything, I've
People.
always had people.
Mm.
I've always had people. And it's some sort of comfort. It gives you some sort of comfort.
People around you, that validation from people.
Awkwardness,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. I tell you, I grabbed my stuff. I went to, is it Mastro's or something at Seaport? Went
Seaport.
Yes! I'm like,
expensive.
that's the last amount in my bank. I just want to experience that. I'm not trying to go to a local restaurant because no, I wanted to. No shit, so no offense to you.
Don't worry.
But no, I went.
Yeah.
Best dressed. Put on my makeup. You know, drove my car. I even did valet parking.
Hey! Oh man, this is self love on a whole nother level.
Why do we work?
Why do we work?
So I did that. I went. Had dinner by myself. Oh, table was like, of course, you only see me.
You see when your my friend did that.
You didn't mind me. So yeah, where and I had dinner by myself, and it was. I wouldn't say it was like, it was awkward because you see all these people, but I made the most of it.
Yeah.
People were there sitting by yourself. They even gave me 4 tables. Me by myself.
You were
Gave me 4 tables. Why not? I definitely took advantage of that. So I feel like that moment, like, unlocked something inside of me. It's like if I can go have dinner by myself, I can walk into any room by myself.
Yeah.
I don't really like show up with friends anymore, like go out with friends anymore. And I guess my friends, if you guys are listening, they moved out. Majority of them.
So they create that room for you.
That room for me to grow.
Yeah.
That room for me to just, Yanny, you can do this by yourself. So I started that the dinner unlocked that, and I started, just showing up to places. I don't care for calling somebody to come with me. If they want to come, great. If they don't want to come, I'll say, I'm still going. You don't have to come. I'm still going. An example of that is the event that we went to. I believe that's the industry night. That was like the last Sunday, Upper Sunday. I forgot when. Yeah, like that event. I went there by myself.
Flawless, looking flawless. When I saw you up there, all black with the brown, like, check I was like, trouble, no end.
Thank you. I showed up by myself, but when I showed up, I knew people.
Yeah.
I saw people. You know what I mean? And even if I don't even know anybody there, I'm still gonna have a great swell time. You know, that's just me. If I have to network, I'll network. If I have to talk to people, I'll do that, you know. But that's me. I have to show up. Show up.
That's amazing, man. You talked to so many important things. Like I literally just want to let you go with this conversation because man, I know someone's loving. Like I'm loving this conversation. You talked about showing up, but you didn't just talk about showing up. You talked about showing up by yourself. Like that is so important because
Yes.
some people want to show up, but they want to show up with someone
Yeah.
else. You understand, right? They
You have
want
to know yourself
you have to
first
know yourself
before you.
first before
Yeah,
you.
I did the work. I did the work. I always say that. Like I did the work. Like you know, I mean, I just therapy as our people don't really like
Really, yep.
and when I lost my dad, I had to get therapy because I didn't want that as the first child too. I didn't want that to affect anything, or affect my family, or affect the way that I interact with people. I didn't want that to dim my light. But I did the work. So that work required me to move out of Boston for a little bit
Yeah, I know you
and
were
just shut a
going
lot
through
of people out. And it wasn't like I just shut people out. It was because I was doing the work. I wanted to be healed. I wanted to come back as myself. I wanted to be able to show up for people and support people the way that I used to, not using my dad's death as an excuse for treating people the way that I was treated. Because I definitely treated people bad as and I was able to amend. And people say, "Oh, Yanni, but you should have spoke to us. You should." I can't speak to you. You don't get it. You can't tell people how to breathe or do things. Yeah. So I had to leave for that little bit, and then when I came back, it's like, oh, now I'm back. Now I'm on the road. So yeah.
That's one thing we don't understand. I don't understand. Like I had a friend of mine, a client of mine told me like he like when I lost a friend, and he's like, look, if it takes you a year to grieve and get over it, take it.
Yes.
You get it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't rush them. Don't rush it.
Yes.
You get it, right? Give that person the level of that you feel they deserve if you wanna. But once you're done, you're done. You get it. You can go back to it. You get it, right?
Yeah.
Once you get up, so take as long as
Of
you
course.
want. And that's what we don't understand. We want people to like bounce back. Like I want you to still no man.
My
like,
dad is forever in my heart. He's forever in my heart.
Yeah.
And of course, do I have moments where I think about him? Yes, I do. Do I have moments where like I talk to people and I see my dad in some people? Yes, I do. Like a couple of times. So yeah, but at the same time, I just I had to like find a way to navigate through that. And just know that he's always gonna be looking down and smiling. That's just my way of like coping,
definitely, It's I love how you do things. You have that power to which a lot of people lack to step away and do the work. When you lost your dad, you stepped away as long as you want, and then you came back.
I was gone for 8 months.
8 months. That's a long time. You understand, right? Like a lot of people can't do that. I can't leave my friends. I can't leave, but I can't leave this. But you have to because you wanted to give your best self to people and like how that is important that we have to before we help someone we have to help ourselves. We have to come out
That's it.
clean.
You hit the nail on the head.
Clean.
Yes,
And
you have to. There's no way you can love someone the way you want to love them if you don't love yourself. All my friends are valuable to me, and I always say that. And there is no some people make some slick comments like, "Oh, why do you have this person as a friend? Why do you have that person as a friend?" I don't look at beauty. I don't look at you can dress. I don't look at aesthetic. I think that's what a lot of people have as friends now. I don't look at swag. I don't look at designer. I don't care for all those things. I look at your heart. I look at how you show up for me. I look at the things that you do for me.
Yes.
One of my friends flew from Boston to Maryland where I was living there to drive down with me to Boston when I was moving back to Boston. Wasn't even when I was moving. No, I was trying to celebrate my birthday in Boston. She flew from Boston to Maryland and we drove down 7 hours to Boston. Those are the friends. People don't understand. Oh, why do you have this friend? Why is she your friend?
Man,
it's not about. I don't
look
care for
up.
those things. It's like if I'm going through a rough patch, who's gonna be there?
Yeah.
And if they're going through it, they know I'm showing up regardless. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I could be tired, like exhausted as hell. If I have to show up for you, I'm showing up for you. So that's the same thing I see in myself. I see it in those people, and those are the people that I keep as friends.
And people do it for you too. Like you shared the story about DJ Prince, the love. Even there's something. There's a post you did on Instagram a while ago. I think you opened for someone, and you were saying how grateful you are to Prince and this opportunity. Like I don't know if you remember that post you did. You opened for someone, and you're saying how big that moment was for you.
Oh, well, I can't remember. Was it
It was Kiss.
Kiss Daniel, probably Kiss Daniel, because he was it no Olamide.
So like,
I think it was Olamide
Yeah.
concert. Prince and I hosted.
Hosted,
I think.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a DJ, but we worked alongside. And yes, it was a big moment for me because I would have never thought that Prince and I were gonna be standing on the same
stage. Imagine.
On the same stage, because normally like I would host for Prince and you know what I mean, and like of course like he was an MC and also a DJ. I cannot DJ, but it was that person that mama, as long as you put your mind to it, you can. It was that person. So that was a big moment for me because I'm like, oh my god, the person that I saw potential in, like we're really like doing this together. Like that was a moment. That was a moment.
That was a big moment. Like people don't understand what you're saying. Like I am feeling it from you. This is someone that saw the potential in me, and now we're on the same stage, doing the same thing. No,
like when we like.
Not like this on the floor.
There was so much excitement. Like I don't know. Like I don't know how many people like like it was a blow moment at that time because like we were. I can remember it like yesterday. We're doing. I think it was a It was Whiskey song we were dancing to, and it was like we were.
Yeah. Both of you were.
And I was like, wow, like, and then I was like, wow, like I'm really doing this with you, like, wow,
And this is just the beginning.
Man, I believe that so much. I know for a fact that there is so much more is coming.
Yeah.
So much more is coming.
And like especially in this time we are now, like this is the best time to be Nigerian.
We were pushing Afro.
This is the best. Shoo!
Man!
Whoever knew that Afrobeat would get to this place where everybody wants to be part of Afro.
I remember on my show, I would ask this question: what do you think the future of Afrobeat is like, or something like that? I think that question I asked Majority, I'm like, the Afrobeat industry, where do you see it in the next coming year? Like, it was just, and then it's like, wow, 5 years later, or not even up to 2-3 years later, it's like, what's going on? Now it's cool to be like
Afrobeat. It's cool to be African. Now it's cool.
Like what?
Yeah, I know, man. Now even parents are happy for their children to
go into music, venture into music. Like it's insane. It's wow. I'm blown.
As I'm thinking with your friend, I'm like, wow, like this is you're driving and you hear people playing Afrobeat, like you don't even know them. Like before if I hear Afrobeat, I know it's either I could guess who's driving that car. I was like that I got that the black or this oh my god, I'll just go, but now it's like complete stranger playing Afrobeat.
Yes.
Amazing.
And big ups to everybody.
And how do you feel? How do you feel being an entertainer and seeing this happen? Finally, like you can say I'm an Afrobeat and you're proud to say it. Like, how do you feel?
Man, like I feel great, like ecstatic. Like no, it's a great deal. It's a big deal, because I know like now it's acceptable. It's like we're cool. Like we're like what? I can show up and I'm Nigerian.
And you don't have to ask. You know my food. You know my music, my culture.
The other day I was at work.
Yeah.
Like I don't wanna disclose, but I work with like majority like Caucasian, and it's kind of like I said, guys, I brought jollof rice from lunch today. Y'all know what jollof rice is? Because I'm cool like that, my job, like big ups to them. I love them so much, my team, yeah. And they were like, I was like, have you guys ever jollof? I said, oh yeah, have you had jollof? Oh yeah. I'm like.
There was a video I saw a white guy cooking ogbono soup
Man,
on TikTok.
man.
Ogbono soup, like he cooked the ogbono soup better than I can cook the
Can
ogbono
you
soup.
imagine?
And he was, this soup is so, like he was telling people about ogbono soup. He was telling people the story of ogbono soup.
Yeah.
And I'm like, even we Nigerians don't go deep into that.
For real, it's true. Because I can't remember the last time I ate some. I feel like we take our food for granted now. We take it for granted now. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, take it for granted now. But yeah, like no, shout out to almost everybody pushing it.
Yeah.
Nah, big ups. Like, and I feel like I didn't shout out to some people. Also, I'll say Code Wine, the Code Wine brothers. Man, I started with them with Mr. Easy.
Two DJs, right?
DJ Jules.
Yep.
Dara.
Yeah.
Nana. Adamo. I think there were 4 of them in the group, and I think my story started from college. Actually, before I met Bubble Tea and stuff,
Yeah.
because I remember they started with Mr. Easy. That was like I believe 2015 or 2016, even before. Or it was probably more than 2014.
Yeah.
I think so. Big ups to Code One. You guys are listening. Big ups to you guys. Y'all made me. You guys are part of the success story.
Looking back, do you ever think you'll be where you are today?
I've always known that I'm a star.
Hey.
I always say that, like, I'm a star because, like, from high school, I just, people always like gravitate to me. I was like, man, I feel like I don't, this is a platform to talk about myself.
Please talk about yourself.
I don't give myself credit. Give myself.
This is the only time where you are the topic. You understand? This is not you trying to talk about. No, I'm talking about you.
No, for real.
Give yourself the
when
credit.
I was in high school, I played majority of the sport.
Yeah.
So I was part of like the Boston Scholar Athlete.
Yeah.
And they had like a card or whatever, like a placard or whatever, like as a Boston Scholar Athlete. I had a photo shoot for it. And I kept that because I was like, Yanny, you must make it. And from high school, like I've already seen myself as that girl. I didn't know what direction I was going. I did not. I felt like I was just doing things. My mom said confused at some point. Say this girl, like the first born,
You can't be the black in your family. You have to
make way
example for younger ones because.
But now everything that I did paved the way.
Yeah.
Paved the way for my sister. Then she would say, "I don't want to be a model."
No.
She worked in fashion week. It's kind of like it's like everything. And but I told her, I'm like, listen, I definitely don't want you to make the same mistake that I made, but apply some of those strategies to what you're doing. Yes, focus in school, but if you're passionate about this, definitely do it. I wish I had someone to tell me
that. I know.
But I'm telling you that, and I hope you won't.
That's what makes you stronger. You get it, right? Yeah. That's the thing now. What we call disadvantage in life is not actually disadvantage, our strength. Yeah. Those times we didn't have someone to tell us that we're like, I wish I had. No, you figured that thing out. Do you know how strong you are figuring this thing out yourself?
Yes.
Wow.
It's like it's not easy. And when I started modeling too, big ups to the people that saw potential in me. Corey, I literally I owe him. I gotta give you your flowers right now while you're alive because he's like, even this year, like the shoot that I had this year, the editorial shoot that I had, he was the one that dragged me out. It's like, Yanny, I don't care. You've been hiding and I need you come back into this. Like you can't not, then push me, that day I took day off from work. I was like, you know what, let's do it. And successful, submitted it to like magazines, got featured in like 2, 3, 4, even 5 magazines, and I was just like,
he didn't want to do it, was forced into it. But we need people like that, man. People that will push us into greatness. People that will push us into greatness, even when we don't.
Yeah. You have to always, it's always like that. Like I always tell God, you continue to be the light unto my path. And people that will favor me from the north, south, east, west, I don't care where they're coming from. Bring them my way. And the ones that
take them.
Like,
walk I them. I don't know.
Let me be the one to see myself on my life. Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm just curious, how has your, upbringing in Nigeria, influenced your career, and like, what are some of those things
I was a
you put
soft.
into your?
I was a very soft girl in Nigeria. I mean, I still have that soft. I feel like I was so bougie in Nigeria. I was raised bougie. I was born in Ibadan. When people always say, people in Ibadan, you're supposed to act like a Ibadan girl or whatever. But no, like my parents shielded me. Like every time I talk about that, it's like I was shielded. I was like, my mom tried to push me to like those public school to kind of like make me
They push you.
yeah, you
Yeah,
know what I
I know
mean.
what you mean.
But like, it's
They don't
fine.
have. Something happened. Life had its own way.
I'm still, I can't. You want me to be a jagaba? I
No,
cannot be a
no, no,
jagaba.
no,
I
no.
can be.
You are what you are. Really,
So
Yanny.
yeah, so I was just like that. I was raised in love. My dad and my mom loved each other. My dad was like, oh my god, he was. I miss him. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, but he like they raised us in love. My mom was an entrepreneur also. Like I would see how she was like doing. She was that woman. Like she was a teacher by day, entrepreneur by night.
Wow.
So I feel like I got that zeal from her. So it's kind of like, yes, I'm doing my day job, but so I got side also too. I got all this stuff going on. So I see that. I already saw that from my mother. Because she was a businesswoman. She would travel to Lagos and make it back in the middle of the night, start producing. Because she used to make, I don't know, glycerine.
First game.
Yeah, baby lotion, olive oil.
Oh wow.
Like she used to make those stuff and like
raw.
Raw, and we sit down there with her like doing everything. Like, Mama, big ups to you, man. I
No,
love you.
no,
I
Mama
love you.
also, man.
And yeah, she inspires me. Like, she probably doesn't know that, but like she makes me like be this, like I want to continue to be that person. Keep pushing. I want to give you a better life. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not gonna stop until I do that. I wasn't able to do that for my dad, but I also feel like I was able to. You know what I mean? But this one that I have right now, don't think I wait for you. But yeah, for real. Man. Yeah.
I love that. I love that. Like our parents don't even know how much they inspire us because back then there was not like inspiration. There was not like motivation. There was not like inspiration. There's nothing like career. They don't do that as a career.
And then you come to America. And then you see her raising 3 kids by herself.
I know.
Like how? Like how? Like it's like you're raising those 3 kids by yourself, and I always put that at the back of my mind. Like, I tell my mom all the time, like, you're lucky. Like you're very you're lucky and you're blessed because like a lot of people and their children turn out to be like good. It's tough because like you're bustling and bustling and bustling and bustling and
24/7. And then still have kids that still. I mean, that's one thing I don't take for granted. The discipline my parents put in me. It's like anywhere I go, I still remember where I'm from.
Amen to that.
Like before I do anything, I have to think about my mother. My mother will flog me.
At least me, I was soft growing up.
But still soft, but still, you understand?
But like the discipline was there.
Was still there, yeah.
My mother was not like strict. My parents were not like strict, but like they instilled that, the whole church thing, and gotta put God first. You have to know what you're doing. They always have their ways of saying things and tell you stories, and you think like, that's true.
Last lines, you're gonna listen.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like, look at this. Like you're living comfortable. You're not comfortable. You're not in trouble. You're going around freely. You're doing, compared to some people. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
So things to be grateful for.
Of course.
I'm just curious. You've made it this far. You started this when Afrobeat wasn't even popping. Like what are some challenges you faced? You're female. You're not even from this state. From this country. Like what are some of those challenges you faced, and how have you handled them getting to this point? Because don't get me wrong, I know there's some other Yanny out there, a little girl out there that wants to be like you, but she sees all these things and she's like, how can I do it? Like you understand, right? How did you do it?
Man. I just keep pushing, man. Because in as much as it looks different on the outside. It's not. Like, like you have a show, like you gotta know a lot of because I know I reach out to people.
Yep, and they get no.
And I get no's, but I still didn't, give up. I still pushed through. Like if one door closes, I reach out to the next person, But that's a great question because man, you just gotta keep pushing. You just gotta keep pushing. But I feel like as a female in the industry, now maybe it's more acceptable. But back then, it was kind of like
Nigeria.
what's this one?
What's this one?
Yeah. What's he doing? What are you thinking? But I also feel like people will say, "Oh, you're a force to be reckoned with." I just don't. I don't give up. Like, if there's another word for that, like, I just don't. It's like I don't take no for an answer. I don't care.
Like, break that door.
If you tell me, Johnny, don't. You say don't do that. It's that thing that I'm going to do. And so you're very stubborn. But at least it's a good stubborn.
Yeah,
it's not like a bad stubborn,
Yeah.
Because it's like I will find a way. I will always find a way. I don't know how, but I always find it because when I look back at it and I like I see like that the only female hosting majority of these shows and I'm like
big shows.
So you can't tell me that there are there are other people but I also feel like it has to do with like connection and the way that you carry yourself. I think that's a big one because I'm not gonna lie to you. Of course, as there being promoters that definitely wanna I gotta of course there have been like there because I always felt like oh maybe if like I did this maybe they would put me on. But at the same time, I feel like I'm grounded. Like I feel like I know myself and I don't have to do anything to become this person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I always say that to myself. So when they say, "Oh no, I will find another person to talk to," can you let me talk to that person? You just have to, and like there are ways to communicate too. I feel like like I always say, like my heart, like or the way that the kind of person that I am, always like pave way for me regardless. Like I warm up to people, so it's kind of like and when I have conversations with people, I'm not having like regular like dumbass conversation. It's kind of like business, like talk to me. What's the next move?
Yeah.
What do you think we can do here?
Yeah.
How do you think we should do this? And every opportunities that opens up to me, I take it. Oh, big ups to Afro Surge.
Afro Surge, yeah.
The one that I said, you know what I mean? And because when I also started my show, I didn't know what direction I was going. He saw potential in me. He was like, "Young, if you have your show on this radio show, I can do this. I can pull some ropes and blah blah blah." For people to just like
naturally call you and offer you things, that's favor, man. That's favor.
So when I keep telling people that I don't know how I got here, I'm honest. It's the honest truth. I really don't. I just know I was putting in the work.
You're available when they needed you.
When people say, "Yeah, I'm there. Yeah, I'm there." I don't even care. Now it's like, okay, God drop some bars.
At least but
it's not like I really care about that as much, because like I always say I'm blessed. But it's always like, I will still always push. I didn't know what I was doing then. Like when I look back at some, I'm like, oh God,
man. What were you thinking? What did
you thought you were doing
something? But then you felt you were doing something. You get it, right? That's the beauty of life. That the fact that you see that growth in you, you know that you've come a long way. But if you look at yourself and you're still doing the same thing, it means you're not growing. You get it, right? So that's why I tell people like perfection can never be achieved. Like don't start, just start.
And you have to sacrifice.
Sacrifice.
I think that's the key word. You have to sacrifice something. Like there is no way you just wanna keep doing things. Like you just have to. If it's like time, if it's money, like you want to start a like the show. Let's use our show for example. You have to invest
Yes.
in this stuff.
Yeah.
It's not like someone is sponsoring you.
Sponsoring,
You are the one
sponsoring
sponsoring
yourself.
yourself. So you just have to sacrifice something. You have to. You just have to, and it will pay. Even if it's not paying for you now, because when I look back at it, I sacrificed a lot. Then I didn't have a car, but I'll find a way to go to like the studio.
Yeah.
Then I didn't have a car. I'll find a way to like do the PR that I have to do for Audio Africa.
Yeah.
Then I didn't have a car. I'll find a way to show up for G's Corner. Let's have this talk show. Let's
Yeah.
bring people in. Let's do this. Let's do that. I didn't have a show. I didn't have a car, but I'll show up to majority of these things. Meet people, network with people. All of those things paved the way to where I am today.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like if I didn't show up for some people,
wouldn't
there's
show up
no
for you.
way. There's no way. So I feel like sacrificing definitely. Yeah. So if any like any female is out there like listening, like you can do it. Like I always tell my sister, I want you to surpass me. Our parents always say, yes, I gave birth to you, but I want you to be better than me. Yeah, I know, and this is me now, but I will not be insecure or feel any type of way about somebody else doing it and surpassing me and doing it better. You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
I will not be mad. That's why I say I'm very secure in myself. I'm not insecure about anybody. You're beautiful. I will even tell you you're beautiful. Like you get what I'm trying to say? Like I've done the work. So I don't like when I'm showing up to somewhere, I'm showing up as me. I'm not looking at this girl fine person. Chai. No. This person is wearing designer. Oh me, I don't know. Oh what that's not me. I'm comfortable, I'm content. And that's what my parents raised me with. They've already instilled that in us, like growing up. Like, be yourself. You don't need, you know what I mean? And I continued in that way. I don't see nothing else. I'm just me. I show up as me.
I love that. This thing you just said, just remind me of something that's going on right now. Hilda.
I thought about that.
Cook for the 100 hours. Do you think she's moved? She feels inspired that what she
somebody else is doing
it. Like, do you think 120 was possible?
That's how it should be.
But she blazed the trail and she has set the standard and everybody's now it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay, but I'm glad that I break that fire, you understand?
All the Afrobeat artists think like everybody is like, new things are standing up.
Oh man.
Odumodu just came out of nowhere.
Yo.
So it's kinda like, do you wanna be mad at that? Put in the work.
Put in the work.
If you feel some type of way, put in
Put in the work. Go do the
work.
work.
Don't make it seem like you're jealous. Don't
You're
make it seem
jealous.
like you're insecure.
Yeah. I'm supposed to be the only
that's the
cool
thing.
kid,
No,
yeah.
don't be selfish. Humble yourself. And I feel like that goes a long way because pride definitely leads to like destruction.
Yeah.
Like, and if that's one thing that I always pray for, God, please, like that humbleness. Don't take it away from me. I don't want to be shown like
I don't show.
No, like that humbleness, don't take it away from you. Like you have to stay humble. Like even when people are telling me, yeah, you don't give yourself credit enough. This is what I say, God, be to God, do. I don't like thank God. You know what I mean? Like there are sometimes you want to talk about yourself, but
give it back to the owner.
So it's just one of those things. For
I
sure.
love that, man. No, for real. This is an amazing podcast. I still want to have you again on this show. Like I would part two. Even the Black wanted to do one with all of us together. So I'm thinking of a bigger one where as different Afrobeats from entertainment, MC artists, everybody together just sit and talk about just the Afrobeat industry in Boston and how can we build it and make it better because woman is not an island.
Don't Black, if you're listening, I already told you this. Like I already, because I DM'd him, I saw his, the podcast, and I told him like, the promoters are not responsible for the artists. To be honest, like let's keep it real,
Yeah.
You have to like be in charge of your craft.
That is true.
Get yourself a solid manager.
Yeah. it will change the game. That's like full stop right there.
That's game.
That's game. That's next level.
That's game.
That's next level.
I'm my own team.
Yeah.
But if I can afford a manager to do
Manage.
things, I will.
Do you know how many doors it will open for you? Do you know how many things that you don't even have to stress over? Because you have a manager, like it just lifts you up higher than a regular person.
And I told him, like, definitely, there's no I in a team.
Mm-mm. It's a win.
So once everybody has that mentality,
Yeah.
that's also game. You can't say, yes, hi, me. I want to make it. Like, no, you have to bring everybody on board. Everybody has to, and you can't be like, it's
Can't do
more,
everything.
it's deep, it's more than, it's more than that, I got here today not by myself. You see how I've been giving like
You've
to like
literally
people,
been giving shout out from the beginning of the conversation till the end. And I'm like, wow.
but people don't want to do that.
Mm-mm.
People want to make it seem like they did it by themselves. I made it. I did this by myself. No, you're not going anywhere with that. You're not going anywhere with that. I didn't get here by getting it. Yes, I may have started, but some people found me along the way
Sure,
and
bro.
said, "This girl,
I see something.
I see something in you. I see you putting in the work. All right, let's get to work." And while I'm working, I'm giving them their props too. I'm humble with it. I'm humble with it. I'm giving them their flowers, And then when it's time for me to branch out and be my own brand,
Yeah.
I became my own brand. But I'm not tarnishing them. I'm not talking bad about them. Yes, we may have had understanding along the line, but I'm still not talking bad about them. They're still a big part of who I am today. So people just need to understand that, it takes a lot mature man. I'm not saying I'm grown, no, it's even.
I like you. After you talk about me, you come back. I'm not saying I'm good. Oh man, no, that's beautiful.
But
man.
life teaches you. Life definitely makes you grow up fast. I grew up fast, so definitely the majority of these things. And then so a lot of things that people are just like,
yeah, you're like, I did I get this year? Me, I don't pass here. They wouldn't. I do my next one like it. That's amazing, man. I'm just curious, after it's all said and done, what legacy do you want to leave behind? Like, what do you want people to know you for?
Wow, just that girl, the it girl, IT. No, what do I want people to? Man, just know me as that girl that that was. Is it resilient? Resilient.
Yeah.
That girl that didn't
Didn't
give up.
give up.
That girl that
Gee.
will show up and show out for people.
Yeah.
That supportive Yanny. That girl that will leave a mark wherever she goes. Yeah. And if anybody, like maybe they're looking for the courage or they're looking for the encouragement to be, that girl, just show up and show out. But I'm gonna tell you, you can't be that person with ego. You have to be humble. Like somewhere, they say they slap your right, you turn your left. Like you go through a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like you will. I've gone through so much. I always say that. Like there's so many things like I can't tell people. Like I know. Like there's some gigs that I've done that I didn't get paid, but I didn't call them out. A lot of people like they'll press your nose, like push your head.
Yeah.
Just be smiling, because at the end of the day, when everything is like, when you start reaping what you sow, you're like,
there's one thing I learned: life doesn't cheat people.
and what goes around
Shortly comes around. Like
I'm reaping all of this
I know.
now because I put in.
You put in the work, and then it's like you did more than you were paid for. You did more than and now it's like,
oh my
I know,
God.
I know. I know. Then
more.
It just.
Oh man, that my siblings at the time would even tell me like, "Are you getting paid for this? Why are you doing
Why are you
it?"
doing this?
But
Yeah.
I'm like, don't worry, it's not about. I try to explain, but they never get it. It's like it's not about. They never get it. And I'm like, I'm passionate about this thing.
That's the most important thing.
And then from me being like concert, da 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 da, I start emceeing. The emceeing pays me. You get what I'm trying to say? I didn't
Yeah.
know that it was going to even
Lead
lead to that.
Yeah.
I didn't even me MC. What do I know? You know? But then I just bring my energy into it. It's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone. You know? So it's just but definitely,
That's amazing.
I definitely that pretty young master.
That girl,
I don't know how.
just
I don't know how, but it will.
it, no, it must. It must. It must. I believe. I believe. So, like, how do you deal with doubt? You get right. Like, I know you've been in your first show. I know you doubted yourself. Or like, even the question is, have you ever doubted yourself, and how did you deal with it?
So many times. I don't think there like so many times. Even when I stopped my show in 2021 and last year was looking rough for me, I didn't know like if I was gonna be back or not.
Mhm.
Like I wasn't sure. I don't. I feel like even right now, I don't know the future of my show.
I
Nobody
know.
knows. We're just doing. I don't know. Like I really don't know. So definitely, I've had times where I doubt myself for sure, but I was just like, I just still keep going. I'm
Show up
like,
and show
God
out.
got me. Yeah, like I just feel like it will happen. I believe like it will happen. Like I don't know how things will happen, but I just know it will happen.
I know.
Like I don't know. So like that's like if you put a question like
I don't.
pretty Yanny, trademark, I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
Like I really like
That's a powerful life. Like I don't know when. How did this? I don't know.
like when I doubt myself, and I just know it will happen. It will. Like there's no other like it has to.
Mm.
And, yeah, that's it.
I love it. I love
Hopefully, people, they don't feel like what's wrong with this kid.
it. No, no, no. I don't think anybody would feel. I think honestly, I just sitting down and getting to know the other side of you is just the best thing that has happened to me this
People don't
week.
know.
And I am so glad that I caught this moment.
Yes.
You get it, right? I'm so glad that you're sharing this with me. Like, oh boy, because I don't even know what I owe you for you to be this plain and express yourself to the fullest.
Yes.
You feel like we've planned this before. Like you've been on this show, like, but nah. This is the first time I'm sitting with you,
I
and
feel like people just see Yanni out there. It's like, okay, they don't really know.
thank you. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing. So like,
They don't really know.
no,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So, what is the future?
Don't hit me with
No. Now we're just, I think we're going to be deep, but let's, just chill now. Like, what is the future looking like for you? 5 years from now, like, what are you?
Where's my son?
Like, why is it just with me too?
I need to switch my accent. You all see that? The future is what?
Right. Right, just is that.
I'm telling you. That's it. You know what I mean? Like I feel like the future is definitely bright. Yeah, I'm just getting started. Like I started.
But
But
it's still getting started.
You know what I mean? For real, because I'm working on so much right now, and I'm just thankful to God. Like, I don't know where I get my ideas and everything like that, but I'm working on so much. But yeah, future is bright.
I love it. I love it. And what advice? I know you've said a lot of things, okay, but what advice would you give to if you could sit with that 13 years old Yanni, and you want advice, what advice would you give her?
Keep going. Just gotta keep going. Even if like how do they even say like if you drop your crown,
Pick that shit back up. Yeah, quick.
keep going.
Quick.
Keep going because I like that 18-year-old Yanni was lost. That 21-year-old Yanni didn't even know what she was doing. When I used to go and do Miss Nigeria USA, I had no thought. I didn't the slightest clue. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, but I kept going. I kept pushing. I just knew that there was light at the end of the tunnel. I kept going. I kept going. And here I am today. Even with like me showcasing artists and trying to inspire and do all this stuff, I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
But I kept going.
Yeah.
And everything just kept like falling into place, And I was like, Yanny, you gotta keep going.
Can't wait till you know before you go. And that's something I love about the fact that you say I don't know.
I
Because
really don't know.
you don't take that as an excuse not to do something. You get it, right? I don't know I'm doing it.
Mhm.
You
But
get it, right?
yeah,
Like
I still do. Yeah. Because I really don't know.
and that gives you the power to learn new things. You get it, right? Because the thing about knowing something, if you feel like you don't want to do anything. You get it, right? You always want to know then life it. But if you always
No.
in that I don't know but I want to know, you get it, right?
You keep reaching for
you just
yourself.
keep reaching for new things.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Definitely.
really
I take risk a lot.
mm.
A lot of risk. I take a lot of risk. Like the most craziest thing I did.
Thank you for sharing this. Right on.
I like for the show. I definitely want to have celebrities on my show.
Yeah.
Enter Files. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir.
I have this show. What's it? I don't know if it's gonna reply, if it's gonna open
Are you serious?
or not.
Yeah.
Same thing with Banky W.
Wow.
Like I was just like, let me just keep like messaging this. Eventually,
Let me start messaging people. Put them for my notes.
It's true. Yeah. I just started like reaching out.
See boldness.
Yes.
See boldness.
I just started reaching out. And when Banky opened and responded,
Choo.
even though we didn't have the show,
Sure,
but
yeah.
I know that it will happen. One day anyhow.
One day.
But he responded because it was during the pandemic or whatever, he responded. I was like, Yanny, there's nothing anybody can tell me in this life.
Some kind of confidence, like some kind of these guys give you like this is not like you talking, you've seen it, like I know that's next
And
level.
like when you're having that back and forth conversation,
yeah.
it's like wow. Like I know that they're human, but what does anybody else want to tell me?
If Banky can respond, if that can happen,
I reach out to a lot, Rema. Even if they don't open, but like one day, it will be.
One people go market.
Whiskey.
Hey! Sneak it.
It will happen, It will happen.
Oh man.
Like, I love whiskey, but I know it will happen. But like, there's no way. Like the way everything is going.
Yeah. No, I admire the courage. I admire the confidence. And I guess that's what just sets you apart from the rest. That you don't just dream it, you go for it. You send Banky fast and they responded. Imagine if fear do you don't
Like I said, like I'm working on a lot.
Yeah.
And like it's like literally like I don't know when this podcast is going to be out, but
Monday.
But I told myself that I want to start my show back in person.
Yeah.
And I reached out, like everything just fell into place. And I feel like once people start seeing the video, we can come back to this podcast. Like I said it here because I reached out to those 4 individuals and I locked in a date. I haven't even bought my tickets, like my plane tickets for the in-person interview. But I just with faith and in the moment of I don't know, I'm like, let me reach out. And I reached out to 4 individuals and I locked them down for that date.
Something about it, like I know if nobody can do it, you can do it. Like there's this brilliant, like this like this. No, because
like even
if I'm sitting with, like, I'm not surprised hearing this coming from because I've always felt like Brilliant has a way around things. You get it, right?
And I know
it's not Brilliant. I'm not surprised.
People have their thinking and everything like that, but no, like I'm actually one of the most decent human beings ever.
No doubt. Like for real. And that's
Decent
so
human being
funny.
ever, you know? Yeah, this most decent human being ever. And I'm not just saying it to toot my own horn or anything like that, but yeah,
But you believe in yourself. Man.
definitely. And I
Yeah.
feel like once I put my mind to it, God, there's no going back. You can't stop me. You cannot stop me. So I did that. My friends were even looking at me crazy. And I was like, man, I locked in this, locked in that. I was like, I was times like, can you hear me talk to this person? I was like, on speed down. You know, like, and that person confronted me like, you're good. For and when that comes out, people will say,
My sister, I tap into that grace. Look, I go DM,
yeah,
then go wrong.
yeah,
Wow, that's amazing.
yeah.
That's honestly, I would love to continue this conversation, but due to time, but I still want to have you on the podcast again.
Definitely,
Yeah, I think,
yeah,
and
it's so much.
yeah, it's so much to talk about. So much to talk about. So the next question is, how can people, reach out to you? How can people support you? How can people be part of your
Everything is pretty
Yanny?
but no, I need money to join you. God love you. I'm a baby girl.
No. Pretty Yanny, everything pretty Yanny.
So yeah, my Instagram pretty Yanny. I have a business page as well. I am underscore pretty Yanny. Even though it looks like my personal page is what everybody sees.
Yeah.
My Snapchat pretty underscore Yanny. My Twitter pretty underscore Yanny. My Facebook pretty Yanny. It's like
everything.
My YouTube, I need you to go subscribe. It's pretty Yanny. Everything about me is pretty Yanny. So definitely like tap in. I have a business card, but you can email me, pretty Yanny. Pretty Yanny1 at Gmail or Yanny662 at Gmail. You can DM me on Instagram. I definitely respond on that one. I'm not giving up. And if I give out my number, it's for business.
It's for business.
We
don't have a business number to give out, but not a private.
Right.
Yeah.
And yeah, definitely reach out. And it's all business, business, just business,
It's all love.
Yeah, it's all love. You were talking the other aspects. You work.
You work,
You
bro.
respect.
I'm just talking to files.
But yeah, definitely.
No, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
because
so much.
definitely big ups to all these artists that I've also like given me a chance, like being on my platform. I gotta give them shout out. Ugo Boy, J Malik, YDA.
And these are names that are coming up.
Yeah, YDA.
YDA, I've been hearing the song on the radio.
Yeah, Don Black, Dolapo the Vibe from New York, J London. There's a lot, ton of people. I go DJ YB, DJ Prince, like a lot of people. Like you guys, man, I can't even Sukiyaki. I can't even forget you. Oh my God, like
is that the
Richie Smiles, every one of you, like, Spins, like, every one of you guys, like, when I reach out, you guys like tap in and teasy, like you guys Yaki, like you guys tap in and are like, yes, Yanny, like we're here for you and we will be here for you, Cassie, like female artists, like, even though in the industry you feel like you're not welcome, like, I'm glad
Cassie's
that
amazing.
I'm Papi Ojo, oh my God, Papi Ojo, like, told me to come out to New York, like I'm like me, like all the way from Boston to come and cover your show, like it's like wow, Peter J, Young Prince still doing the thing, like all these people, like big ups to you, big ups to you guys, like there's so many more people that I'm working on, upcoming ones, it will happen by the grace of God,
yes,
Bills from Texas, Pere, Morientes, Bolucci, every one of you guys, for actually deeming me worth. I appreciate that.
Yes.
I don't take it for granted at all. I don't take it for granted at all. And if I didn't mention you here, I apologize. Videographers that I'm working with.
Don't worry, they understand.
J-Light, Wale.
Shout out to J-Light, man. J-Light, my guy.
Wale, Astro, exactly. Like big ups to almost every one of you guys. Like, DJ City, oh my God. Then if I continue to give shout out today,
Let us
you're
know
not
that.
gonna leave here.
Let us know that this podcast would not talk about Yanny. We spoke about people.
Yes.
We are going to do the Yanny podcast later. Today we're just giving shout out.
People that made people I
People that
am
made
today.
you,
I
honestly,
appreciate you
that
guys
believe in her.
so
So
much.
amazing.
Like, I don't take it for granted at all. Roy, where's Roy? I don't take it for granted at all. I appreciate you guys so much, so much, and thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, because without you guys, there will be no pity.
Man,
And that's facts right
I feel you.
there. That's
I
facts.
feel you. So like I said, man, guys, watch out for part 2. This is called the shout out podcast. You understand? We didn't talk about how we spoke about people that paved the way for, and it's amazing. It's amazing because I definitely have to ask you. These are questions that I had, but you just answered them naturally. You get it, right? These are questions that I had in mind, but you just went into them. And thank you so much.
Of course. Don't hit me with that question. Hey, don't hit me.
Which question?
Don't hit me
Which
with
one?
that question.
If
You're single, if you're
no.
You're already sweating.
The last thing I care about, I don't single or not single, no, because I just love the success story. It's not concern me relationship, you understand, right? Me, I'm just happy for what you've done in the industry, and what you continue to do, like just keep growing.
Yes,
keep
I can't wait.
going.
More concert opportunities too. I feel like I've done a whole lot of concerts.
But still more coming.
Big ups to Duke. Oh my God, Duke. Like, big ups to him. Oh wow, my artist. Wow, Dan Ginger Man. Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
You guys link up with this your artist.
No. Yes, you gotta. Yeah, definitely. It needs to come on here.
Wow.
Big ups to everybody. Big ups to oh my God. Big ups to everybody that has supported me. Like, I can't continue to name names.
Plenty. But
Oh, yeah.
you have time, man. No, it's amazing that you remember these names and you shout out every single one.
Definitely, because
Thank
they
you.
believed in me.
Yeah.
Make a mix.
People won't understand, but you know where you're coming from.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I'm thankful to God.
Yes. That's
Everything. To recap.
Everything
goes
back to
God.
the.
And I know that He's gonna do more. By
Yeah.
His grace, He's gonna keep paving the way. He's gonna continue to get the light onto my path.
Yeah.
Regardless of what people say, what people think about me, I don't care.
Yeah.
I know I serve a good God. I serve a living God.
Yes.
I'm his favorite, God's favorite.
You ready for God's favorite, though?
Right.
You ready for God's favorite? Pretty Yanny yourself, guys.
Thank you for having me.
Oh man, thank you for coming
on this show, because this is my first. I feel like it's my first interview. No one's ever
Yeah.
So thank you for having me. Thank you for having me share my
It's a pleasure.
story
It's a
as
pleasure.
well.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing the story.
Yeah.
It's one thing to have you and then for you to share the story. You understand? Thank you for sharing the story to the easiest and deepest level you can share it with.
Yeah.
I really love and appreciate you,
Sure.
and we're supporting you. You get it, right? When the time comes, any project, anything you have, this is the platform. You understand, right? Please, let us have you. Let's talk about anything. See how we can support the Pretty Yanny brand. Guys, Pretty Yanny has dropped so much for us today. Like, I definitely will have to listen to this podcast again because I love it, and I know if I love it, you guys love it. Like, these are the kind of people that I love to bring on the show. People that are real, people that are authentic. Just so we can all be blessed by it. You get right? So we can our lives will change. So the least we can do, okay? Support.
Yeah, subscribe to my
Subscribe to our YouTube.
channel. Follow
me on Instagram. If you have events,
if anybody has,
she's an MC.
If you guys
the MC
want
with
to
the most
sponsor me,
sponsorship too. Everything. What you drop the cash up and sell?
My cash up. Okay, Pretty Yanny 24.
Dollars and Pretty Yanny.
Dollars and Pretty Yanny. Yeah, I'll say cash up. Yeah, let's not do Zelle because
phone number.
That's too much.
Okay, so
thank you for having me for sure.
Thank you.
I remain the one and only Pretty. Any other one is what?
It's fake.
Right?
It's your line.
Right.
So guys, thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I really appreciate you guys for the time spent with us. Pretty, and thank you for coming.
Of course, anytime.
Yes, and as usual, guys, Remain blessed until we meet again.
Yes, brother.
Peace.
Peace.
Woo! Oh.